and good afternoon, everyone. We are coming to you from the Capitol Center. Welcome into the Jimmy John's pregame show, getting you set for a very special day here in Bexley, Ohio. It is senior day for the Capitol men's basketball program. They will be honoring senior Brennan Chukram before today's game, and we will be carrying audio of that in mere moments. But in the meantime, we are getting you set for another presentation of men's basketball here on the Capitol Sports Network. I'm Charlie Danis. We are so glad that you could join us here on this special Saturday afternoon. Well, let's go back to the last time the men's team played. It was back on Wednesday night. And let's just say it wasn't a good result for head coach Damon Goodwin and his crew. They fell to Wilmington by a final of 86-67. The Quakers came out firing. That was their senior day. Quakers led by 9 at the break, and then they proceeded to drop 48 points on Capitol in the second half en route to that victory. The Quakers balanced scoring offensively. Christian Jones led the way with 19 points. DJ Isles had 12. Jordan Jones had 13. Andrew Russell had 16. Nathan Scott, he had 10 points. Meanwhile, for Capitol, another big game for Austin Schreck. He had 20 points on 8 of 12 shooting from the field. Didn't make a three. Was 4 of 5 from the foul line. And Caleb Cox, he had 13 points to go along with 7 rebounds. Schreck and Cox, however, were the only two double-digit scores for Capitol in that game. So, with the loss to Wilmington, Capitol dropped to 11-13 overall and 7-10 within conference play. We'll get into the playoff picture coming up for Capitol as we coast along here in the pregame show. A lot of variables to go over, a lot of wins and losses, and certain things have to happen for Capitol in order to go into the OAC tournament with some momentum and at the same time a good seed as well. So let's take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll take a look around the OAC as the seeds are almost basically set for the OAC men's basketball tournament, which will be taking place next week. You're listening to the Jimmy John's pregame show here on your home for Crusaders men's basketball, the Capitol Sports Network.
Capitol University has partnered with Aramark to form Capitol Dining Services. Stop in for a snack or some Crimson Cup coffee at the Capitol grounds located inside Sailor Ackerman Hall. The Capitol Court is located on the second floor of the Student Union and is open 7 days a week with a variety of meal options. And don't forget about One Main Cafe, located off of the main lobby in the Student Union. Capitol Dining Services and all of its locations powered by Aramark are proud supporters of Crusader Athletics. For venue hours and more information, go to capitol.campusdish.com.
This is a message for the nurses among us, for those who dream of saving lives, for those who are driven to improve care, and for those ready to help heal what's broken, be it a single bone fracture or an entire hospital system. Capitol University's advanced nursing programs are built for you. Engaged faculty, immersive learning, and intimate classes where you'll know everyone's name. To learn more, visit capitol.edu/nursing. Advanced nursing at Capitol University, for those driven to do more.
Just as fresh as its pizza, Donato's is fresh off of its 50th anniversary and still serving the Columbus area with pride. Now introducing online ordering, Donato's Pizza is ready for your order at any time from anywhere. Donato's also features a gluten-free menu and will even cater your next big event. Donato's Pizza in Bexley is located at 2800 East Main Street and is available by phone at 614-235-4477. Donato's Pizza, proud supporter of Capitol Crusader Athletics.
Welcome back to the Jimmy John's pregame show, getting you set for senior day as Capitol entertains the Blue Streaks of John Carroll. Let's now go ahead and take a look around the Ohio Athletic Conference. This OAC update is brought to you by the Honey Baked Ham Company. Well, as we sit here today, here are what the standings look like around the conference. John Carroll, the team Capitol is taking on today. They are your leader in the clubhouse. They have a 14-3 mark within conference play, and they own the tiebreaker over the second place team in the conference, that being Marietta. Well, why is that important? Well, if John Carroll were to lose today and Marietta would win, that would bring them to within a first place tie. However, since John Carroll was able to beat Marietta not once but twice this season. John Carroll holds the tiebreaker. Therefore, the Blue Streaks would have the number 1 seed in the OAC men's basketball tournament coming up next week. So there you go. Marietta currently in second place, as I mentioned, with a 13-4 mark. Ohio Northern 12-5. Baldwin-Wallace 10-7. Assuming that those teams are able to win today and nothing too crazy happens this afternoon, those are going to be your top 4 seeds within the OAC tournament next week. Followed by Baldwin-Wallace is Mount Union, who's 8-9. And then Wilmington, Capital, and Muskingum. They're all 7-10 within the conference. Behind them is Heidelberg at 6-11. And behind them is Otterbein, 1-16 in OAC play. So, what does the playoff picture look like for Capital? Well, as I talked about, they're currently tied with Wilmington and Muskingum for the 6th seed in the upcoming OAC tournament. A win would keep them in the running for that 6th seed, as they have split the season series with both Wilmington and Muskingum. The Muskies play at Heidelberg. Wilmington is at Baldwin-Wallace in the meantime. Now, if all 3 of those teams, Capital, Muskingum, and Wilmington, win today, Muskingum will hold the advantage over Capital and Wilmington. And Muskingum will also hold an edge over Capital based on other tiebreakers. A win and a Mount Union loss, however, could escalate Capital to 5th. A Capital loss, meanwhile, well, that would provide an unclear picture, but that would guarantee them a seed no higher than 6th, no lower than 8th. So between the 6th and the 8th seed. So there's a lot to play for today. If Capital is able to get a big win here over John Carroll, nice shot in the arm in terms of confidence heading into the conference tournament, and also a chance to move up all the way to the 5th seed. Other games taking place across the OAC. This will be the final day of the regular season, actually. John Carroll obviously here taking on Capital. Otterbein on the road. They will be at Mount Union today. Muskingum playing host to Heidelberg, as we mentioned. Wilmington on the road at Baldwin-Wallace. And finally, this ought to be a good game, Marietta at Ohio Northern, as the Pioneers get set to take on the Polar Bears. When we come back, you will hear my conversation with one of the assistant coaches here at Capital as we continue to count down here today's opening tip-off and today's Senior Day festivities, which will include Brendan Chukram. He'll be honored before today's game against John Carroll. You're listening to the Jimmy John's pregame show here on your home for Crusaders men's basketball, the Capital Sports Network.
Zoe's Cafe in the heart of downtown Bexley, Ohio is a proud supporter of Capital University and Crusader Athletics. Zoe's Cafe is a casual, multi-cuisine restaurant that specializes in breakfast and lunch dishes, but also sports a vibrant outdoor patio and daily happy hour specials. Zoe's Cafe is located at 2376 East Main Street in Bexley, just a few blocks away from Capital's campus, and can be found on Facebook by searching Zoe Cafe Columbus. Zoe's Cafe, proud supporter of Crusader Athletics.
Jimmy John's World's Greatest Gourmet Sandwiches, Ed speaking.
Yes, I need a sandwich delivery right away.
What kind of sandwich?
I don't care, just get it to 215 Elm Street right now.
I'm on my way! Jimmy John's.
Thanks for getting here so fast.
You're welcome, sir. Here's your sandwich. By the way, did you know your house is on fire?
That's why I called Jimmy John's.
Fire makes you hungry?
No, I knew you'd get here fast. Grab a bucket.
We're gonna need more than 2 guys, sir.
You're right. What'll we do?
Leave it to me, sir.
Hello?
Hello, boss. Send everyone you got to 215 Elm.
Okay.
Doesn't matter what kind of sandwich, sir. I'll explain later. Thank you, sir.
Jimmy John's. Come in.
Sir, did you know your house is on fire?
Yes, I did. Grab a bucket.
Jimmy John's.
Come in.
Sir, did you know your
Yes,
house
I
is
did.
on
Grab
fire?
a bucket.
Jimmy John's.
Come in.
Sir, did you know...
Yes, I did. Grab a bucket.
Jimmy John's.
Come in.
Sir, did you...
Yes, I did. Grab a bucket.
Fire department.
Come in.
Sir, did you know you...
It's okay, Captain. We got it handled. Care for a sandwich?
Thanks, but tell me something.
Shoot.
Why didn't you call the fire department first?
I did.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Jimmy John's pregame show, getting you set for Senior Day here at Capital as the men's basketball team gets set to take on the Blue Streaks of John Carroll. I'm Charlie Danis, and joining me now, one of the assistant coaches for the Capital men's basketball program, Andy Winters. Coach, let's start with Wednesday night, 86-67 loss at Wilmington. From your vantage point, what was the most frustrating aspect about that game?
I thought we came out flat from the start. It was their senior day. They had a lot of energy. We let their press get to us a little bit. And then we were kind of searching from the bench for somebody to step up and get us over that hump. We cut it to 5 or 6 a couple different times, but they made timely plays, and we continue to struggle.
Today is senior day. We'll get to Brandon Shukran in just a moment, but not the way that I would imagine that you would be wanting to go into the OAC tournament. 3-game losing streak heading into today's game. What needs to improve with the OAC tournament coming up next week?
I think that we need to understand that the OAC tournament is a different season within itself. So we got to try to figure some stuff out. The good thing is we're going to be in the tournament regardless of today. We'd like to get a win and momentum, but I think our guys are juniors and sophomores and freshmen, and one senior on our team need to understand that it is a lot of momentum for us if we can get a win and head into the tournament. We're
talking with Capital assistant basketball coach Andy Winters here on the Jimmy John's pregame show. As I mentioned, Coach's senior day. Let's talk about Brandon Shukran. He's the only senior on the roster this season, and we've seen him come off the bench some this year. What has he meant to the team over the course of his career here at Capital?
Brendan has done everything we asked from him. Never complained once. He continues to work hard and be a good leader for a lot of these young guys on our team. He's been through it all. His freshman year we really struggled and have improved since then, and he's been a big part of that just with his attitude and effort. And every day in practice, he's the guy that'll bring it and always be ready to play, and that's what we love about Brendan.
Let's talk about your opponent today now. John Carroll, 20-4 overall, 14-3 in OAC play. That's best in the conference. Another team with a balanced offensive attack. And, Coach, as we know, John Carroll likes to go with the starting 5 and then like another platoon of 5 players coming off of the bench. How important will it be to slow the game down against the Blue Streaks, who a lot of times likes to put up scoring digits in the triple digits?
Yeah, we talked about our playing at capital pace, and that's important for us. We need to, keep the game within reach. We're not a team that's going to score 100 points and beat somebody. We can keep it in the 80s. We like our chances there, and our guys understand, what it takes to slow the game down and run our sets and move the ball and get a couple of reversals before we get a shot to play our pace and not get caught up into up and down with John Carroll.
John Carroll has a lot of standout offensive players. Matthew Shuren might be the best of them, and he comes off the bench averaging 16.9 points per game. What stands out about Shuren when you watch him play?
He doesn't, he plays about half the game, and he's averaging 17 points. So biggest thing with him is he's ready to play when he gets in. He's going to get his shots up early and often. So we just got to do a great job of containing him, making it tough from the start, understanding that he's going to get his shots up.
And finally, Coach, we talked about how maybe you need to slow the pace down a little bit, play at that capital pace. Give me some other keys to the game today.
I think the biggest thing is our guys need to come out with a lot of energy from the tip. We've started slow and had to catch up a couple of our games this season. And versus a team like this, we need to come out ready to play.
All right, Coach. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks.
Assistant Coach Andy Winters joining us on the Jimmy John's pregame show. Much more coming up after these words.
I wanted to fly. They said I couldn't. So I built a plane, then a spaceship, then I went to the moon. I invented jazz, hip-hop, rock and roll. Some called it noise. I said it was music. I wrote a letter and sent it by ponies. It didn't get to you fast enough, so I used trucks and ships. But still, they weren't fast enough for me. So I lost the paper and the ink. I sent it by magic. I called it email. I made up new words: jukebox, bling, Google. And I decided some old words weren't okay to say ever again. The mustache. I tried to bring that back 17 times. I wore knickerbockers and shoulder pads, poodle skirts and flannel. When I came back from World War II, all I had was a t-shirt. So I made that cool. In fact, I invented cool. Who am I? I'm the spirit of youth. It's my job to move the world forward. Pepsi. Every generation refreshes the world.
Welcome back to the Jimmy John's pregame show, inching closer and closer to tip-off between John Carroll and Capital on this senior day. Let's go ahead and take a look around the Capital corner, brought to you by Pepsi Live for Now, and put the spotlight momentarily on the women's basketball program. Dixie Jefferson crew beat Wilmington on Wednesday night, 73-61. Capital was led offensively by Carly Hewlett, who had 12 points as the stars. But how about the game by Caroline Taphorn? Taphorn coming off of the bench. She ended up playing 34 minutes, 20 points on 8 of 12 shooting from the field, 1 of 2 from three-point range, 3 of 6 from the foul line. So that's a big win right there for the women's team. Quick check at the standings around the OAC. Right now, Capital is seated at number 6. Could move up to number 5 if some things break their way there today. But like the men's team, the women's team is looking to go into the OAC tournament with a little bit of momentum today. They face off against John Carroll. Capital at John Carroll today. That game is scheduled for a 3 o'clock start. Let's now go ahead and set the table for the men's team here at Capital. This is brought to you by the On the Border Mexican Grill and Cantina. Well, Brennan Shukram, a young man that has played in 66 career games here at Capital, he'll be honored before today's game. Brennan Shukram is a guy that has stuck around with this program through some very tough times, but he's also had some highlights here and there. You might have heard my conversation earlier in the pregame show with Capital assistant coach Andy Winters about how Shukram's one of those program guys that doesn't complain about his role, that tries to help the team in any way that he can. We have seen him come off the bench, and in some moments he has provided an offensive spark for Capital, particularly from the perimeter. It'll be good to see Brennan Shukram being honored before today's game, and we will carry the audio of that ceremony. It's supposed to be scheduled for in about a couple minutes or so. They're wanting to have that done before the start of today's game, which is scheduled for a 1 o'clock tip-off. This game was originally scheduled for a 2 o'clock tip-off, but they instead decided to move it up an hour. So an earlier day of hoops here at Capital. And let's now go ahead and set the table for Capital's opponent today, that being John Carroll, brought to you by Capital Dining Services and One Main Cafe. Well, when you talk about John Carroll, you talk about a team that is consistently at the top of the OAC standings. Why? Well, their offense is dynamite and very balanced as well. They feature 5 players scoring in double figures. And how about this? Their best player isn't even a starter on their team. That would be Matthew Shurin. Shurin, a senior from Brecksville, Ohio, is their leading scorer, averages just under 17 points per game, and he does this coming off of the bench. John Carroll can hurt you in a myriad of ways, mostly from the perimeter. Shurin, a very good three-point shooter. He shoots the rock from about 41%. Sean Flannery is also shown to hit the trifecta. Jackson Sartain, 48% from three-point range as a team. John Carroll just shooting under 40% from downtown. It's going to be imperative for Capital to keep their eyes open and those arms up when John Carroll starts jacking up all those shots from beyond the perimeter. We'll take a quick timeout. When we come back, Senior Day festivities here at Capital as the Crusaders get set to honor Brennan Shukram, the only senior on Capital's roster this season. We'll have that for you and more as we continue to roll along here on the Jimmy John's pregame show.
OSU Sports Medicine is a proud supporter of Crusader student athletes by providing sports health services for Capital University athletics and student health services. Through the work and care of team physicians and athletic trainers, it's the team behind your team. For all fans, if you're looking to improve your physical performance, recover from an injury, or stay active for a lifetime, the experts at Ohio State Sports Medicine are there for you. Visit sportsmedicine.osu.edu or call 366-4332.
It is Senior Day here at Capital. Let's now go ahead and send it down to the public address announcer, Neil Shapiro, for a special presentation.
rosters of both teams so you can learn about the players on display this afternoon. Programs, as always, are free of charge in the lobby here at the Camp Center. Capital University will have athletic conference for good sportsmanship at all of their athletic events. The use of alcohol, tobacco products, or other controlled substances are not permitted inside the Capitol Center. Also, profanity, racial or sexist comments, or other intimidating actions directed at student athletes, coaches, officials, or other team representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from the Cap Center. Be loud, be proud, but most of all, be positive, and thank you for your support of Crusader Athletics. Every year, we honor and thank a group of special young people that begin their journey at Capital University and find their time with us coming to an end. After promising careers with the Crusaders, we'd like to recognize and thank a group of seniors that have collected and will continue to build 4 years of memories with the Capital men's basketball program that we hope they will take with them for the rest of their lives. First, let's introduce and recognize 2 members of the cheer team that cheered in their last game this afternoon. Now the Capital men's basketball program is proud to honor our lone senior this year. He gets the spotlight all to himself, and deservedly so. Please join us in welcoming and thanking our senior number 4, Brian Chupre. Brandon is a 4-year winner with Cats Hoops, and over the course of his career, he's played in 67 games, starting 4. Entering today's game, he has scored 90 points, has taken 36 rebounds, 9 steals, and 13 assists. He is a 2-time, soon-to-be 3-time academic All-OAA playing of our national anthem.
Special thanks to public address announcer Neil Shapiro for a wonderful senior day presentation right there, with Brennan Chukram being honored before today's game. Let's now go ahead and get you today's starting lineups. These are brought to you by Dill's Greenhouse. Only nature does it better. Let's first start with the Blue Streaks of John Carroll University. At guard will be the 6'3" senior from Euclid, Ohio, number 11, Antonio Vianchek. At forward will be the 6'5" senior from Pepper Pike, Ohio, number 20, John Cirillo. At guard will be the 6'3" sophomore from Medina, Ohio, number 21, Jimmy Berger. At center will be the 6'6" junior from Cleveland, Ohio, number 25, Alan Stokes. And rounding out the starting five for the Blue Streaks today will be the 6'3" sophomore guard from Medina, Ohio, the brother of Jimmy Berger, number 32, Ryan Berger. The head coach of the Blue Streaks is Pete Moran. And now the starting five for the Crusaders of Capital University. At guard will be the 6'3" junior from Erlanger, Kentucky, number 3, Austin Schreck. Also at guard will be the 6'4" junior from Milford, Ohio, number 11, Will Hanna. Also at guard will be the 6' freshman from Westerville, Ohio, number 14, Cameron Caldwell. Also at guard will be the 6'2" junior from Centerville, Ohio, number 22, Joey Weingartner. And finally, rounding out the starting five for the Crusaders today will be the 6'7" junior forward from Cincinnati, Ohio, number 40, Caleb Cox. The head coach of the Crusaders in his 23rd year here at Capital, Damon Goodwin. So now we ready ourselves for today's opening tip, brought to you by Zoe's Cafe. And actually, I want to make a correction. One of the starters today for Capital will be the senior Brennan Chukram. Normally we would see Will Hanna out there, but it's actually going to be Chukram. He's a 6'4" senior from Rayland, Ohio, went to Buckeye Local High School. Caleb Cox will jump with Alan Stokes to begin this ball game. Whistle is blown, ball thrown up in the air, and the tip is won by Capital. We're underway here at the Capital Center. John Carroll taking on the Crusaders. Caldwell, left wing. Passing it over to Schreck, coming off of a 20-point performance in the loss at Wilmington on Wednesday night. There's Schreck, Chukram. Over to Caldwell, back over to Chukram for three. No good, and the rebound taken by John Carroll, grabbed by Ryan Berger. Back in the hands of Berger, who will let loose a three. That's no good, and the rebound is taken by Caldwell. Both teams missing their first three-pointers of the afternoon. Schreck, top of the arc, swinging it over to Weingartner. Now in the hands of Caldwell. Caldwell looking to get it in to Cox. But instead, he'll exchange it with Chukram. Caldwell drives in. And his shot partially blocked, but a foul will be called on the inside. Looks like they're going to get Alan Stokes, 6'6" junior out of Cleveland. He went to Shaker Heights High School back in his prep days. So now Cam Caldwell former Westerville South product, at the foul line as fans continue to file in here at the Capitol Center as Caldwell misses his first free throw. 19-11 remaining in our first half, and we are still looking for the first points of the ball game. Caldwell, shot up and good. Capitol up 1-0. John Carroll looking to push it. Nice touch pass on the inside. Missing the shot, however, was Vianchek as he hit the bottom of the backboard, but John Carroll still keeps possession, and the three-pointer is knocked down by Ryan Berger. John Carroll with a 3-1 lead, 18:52 remaining in the first half, and Berger was wanting a foul on that shot. He felt there was a lot of contact there in the corner, but he won't get it. John Carroll now putting the pressure defensively on Capitol. Schreck able to get it across the timeline in time, however. Caldwell near midcourt. No dribble on in. Ball nearly poked away that time by Berger. Over to Weingartner. Weingartner left wing. Passed it over to Chukran. 5 on the shot clock. It's in the hands of Caldwell now. Over to Schreck. 3-2. Schreck shoots, and Schreck misses. And the ball will head out of bounds. They will say it went off of Caldwell, thereby giving the ball to John Carroll. 18-19 remaining in the first half. It is John Carroll 3, Capitol 1. And let me tell you, both teams haven't gotten off to the most sparkling of starts offensively. Vianchek. Out to Cirillo. Now swung around to Berger. Jimmy, that is. Berger penetrating, and the layup on the inside is good for Alan Stokes. Berger doing a nice job dribbling on the inside and then finding his teammate Stokes for 2. It's now John Carroll 5, Capitol 1, with 17:56 remaining in our first half. Pushed ahead to Chukran, inside to Weingartner. Weingartner almost losing it. Weingartner gets it back. Outside to Chukran now. And Schreck will go inside, and Cox will score. Schreck finding a cutting Cox open near the baseline. As Capitol once again scores another bucket, it's now John Carroll 5, Capitol 3, approaching 17.5 remaining in our first half. Jimmy Berger inside to Stokes, back out. Cirillo back inside to Stokes. Turnaround off the glass and in for Alan Stokes. It's now John Carroll 7, Capitol 3, 17:15 remaining in the first half. So Caldwell now trying to break the pressure here. They'll get it across the timeline in time. Caldwell, bounce pass inside, Chukran scores. John Carroll 7, Capitol 5, 16:58 remaining in the first half. Cirillo over to Vianchek. Cirillo jumper, no good. Cox grabs the rebound for Capitol. He'll pass it on over to Caldwell now, does Cox. Chukran let loose a 3. That is short, but an offensive board by Schreck. Cox now battling, and boy, that looked like a lot of contact to me, but Stokes was able to bat that one away. Berger over to Cirillo. Cirillo for 3, and that is no good. As there was more contact, looked as though that Stokes might have bumped Cox that time. John Carroll with a fresh shot clock. Back out to Cirillo, 22 remaining on the shot clock for the Blue Streaks. Another three-pointer. That rims in and out, and the rebound is taken by Schreck. Schreck now losing control over to Chukran. Caldwell somehow gets it back for Capitol. Now he's driving. Kick. Weingartner, 3. No good. Rebound taken by Stokes, and very vehemently, I might add. John Carroll 7, Capitol 5. Cirillo darts on in. Misses the layup. Weingartner with a rebound. Here comes Joey. Bouncing it over to Schreck, who drives in, and he will earn himself a trip to the free throw line after being whacked. Looks like by Vianchek. So Schreck heading to the foul line. Schreck has been on quite the roll as of late. Again, coming off of that 20-point performance against Wilmington on Wednesday night, as his first foul shot is up and good. And here comes the second unit for John Carroll. Ryan Papich will be checking in along with Jackson Sartain. Also checking in for the Blue Streaks, Greg Parella and Sean Flannery. Schreck shot up, no good. Rebound taken by John Carroll's Matthew Shurin also. Dan Abel and Tyler Jamison and Gavin Wildermuth have also checked in for Capitol, as has Will Hanna. Shurin's jumper, no good. Rebound taken by Will Hanna. And will now pitch it on over to Abel, who will proceed to cross half court. Abel, left wing. Dribbling around, now passing it over to Schreck. Schreck top of the arc over to Hanna. 17 on the shot clock. Will going over his options inside. Jamison for 2, and he scores. Capital with his first lead of the game, 8-7. Ball will go out of bounds. And they will say it went off in the hands of Tyler Jamison. That got quite the reaction from the Capital bench who thought otherwise. And now the call has been changed, and they give it back to Capital upon further review. 15:08 remaining in the first half. Capital 8, John Carroll 7. John Carroll now going with that press defense once again. Inbounded to Jamison. Jamison will now dribble around. He'll get it in the hands of the speedy Dan Abel. He'll take it across half court. Abel being double teamed. Has to fight out of that double team. Needs some help. And he finally calls timeout for Capital. 14:55 remaining in the first half. Capital 8, John Carroll 7. This is your home for Crusaders men's basketball, the Capital Sports Network.
With 14 TVs to watch your favorite team or the next big event, Blank's Cafe and Pizzeria in German Village is ready for you and your group today. Plenty of free parking, free Wi-Fi, banquet rooms for private parties and daily specials. What more reason do you need to visit Blank's Cafe and Pizzeria? Blank's is located at 743 Parsons Avenue and has been serving the Columbus community since 1939. Planks is on the web at plankscafe.com or available by phone at 614-443-6251. Planks Cafe and Pizzeria is a proud supporter of Crusader Athletics.
14:55 remaining in the first half as Austin Schreck is able to knock down a long jumper. Capital increasing its lead to 10-7 over John Carroll. This is a presentation of men's basketball here on the Capital Sports Network. John Carroll taking on Capital here on Senior Day in Bexley. Three-pointer jacked up, and did that hit a part of the backboard? Wow, that was an interesting shot by Greg Perrella, the sophomore out of Youngstown. We're tied at 10, and the pass almost picked off. Will Hanna to the 10. Hanna lays it up and in. Capital 12, John Carroll 10. John Carroll likes to push the pace. They don't mind high-scoring affairs. The Blue Streaks don't. Matthew Shuren passing it over to Sartain, but he lost it out of bounds. Turnover, Blue Streaks. It's Capital 12, John Carroll 10. 14:03 left to play in the first half. So far, Capital shooting 50% from the field. John Carroll, meanwhile, 4 of 11. That's only good for 36%. Dan Abel quickly across half court. Over to Wildermuth. Back in the hands of Abel now. Abel left wing, 15 on the shot clock. Dan still going over his options. Finally pitches it over to Wildermuth at the top of the arc. Gavin over to Schreck. Schreck skip pass. Abel 3. Dan not able to knock it down. And Shuren with the rebound for John Carroll. Quickly pushed ahead. Loose ball finally collected by Flannery. Now a three-pointer. That'll rattle home for Jackson Sartain. Sartain, a freshman from Medina. John Carroll back up by 1, 13-12, 13-17 remaining in the first half. Abel getting some help thanks to a hard screen by Tyler Jamison. Inside, Jamison up and in. Capital up by 1, 14-13, 13:02 remaining in the first half. Flannery. And an illegal screen by John Carroll. Another turnover for the Blue Streaks. Already their third of the game. And now checking back in for Capital. Cam Caldwell, Caleb Cox, and Joey Weingartner. Weingartner will inbound it from the far side. Finally gets it into Wildermuth. And Wildermuth will now just calmly jog up the floor, across the timeline, settles near the left wing, passing over to Caldwell. Caldwell inside, wide open, Caleb Cox scores 2. And a timeout will be taken by John Carroll. 12:46 remaining in the first half. Capital 16, John Carroll 13. This is your home for Crusaders men's basketball, the Capital Sports Network. Actually, hold on for just one moment. This is not a regular timeout. Should have pointed this out before today's game. John Carroll, with all these substitutions that they like to make with the first unit and the second unit, likes to employ rolling timeouts, meaning that there is a stoppage of time, but just to get more substitutes in. So not a prolonged timeout, whether it be 30 seconds or a full timeout. So we immediately come back to action here as Stokes battling in, misses the tough shot. Trying an under the basket layup that time with the left hand, came up empty, did Stokes. Caldwell, left wing. Over to Weingartner, three-pointer. Joey knocks it down from the top of the arc. The first three-pointer of the afternoon for Capital. Crusaders by 6, 19-13, 12-10 remaining in the first half. Vianchek swinging it all the way around to Berger. Now back to Vianchek. Now back in the hands of Jimmy Berger. Now in the hands of Ryan Berger. Jimmy skipping it over to his brother. Ryan for three. No good. Rebound taken by Hanna as he falls down over to Weingartner. And Cox not able to handle the pass cleanly as it goes out of bounds. And it'll go back to John Carroll. Capital really missed a golden opportunity right there as it appeared as though it was a 3-on-1, but pass just never really got to Cox. As Caldwell nearly came up with a steal that time on the inbound. Twisting, turning around is Berger to the tin, and Berger lays it up and in with the left hand. Capital 19, John Carroll 15, approaching 11 and a half to play in our first half. Almost losing out of bounds was Wildermuth, but he's able to keep possession of the ball. Gavin now trying to fight through a double team, and he'll be fouled. Foul will go against Ryan Berger. That will be the 14th foul on John Carroll this half. Very interesting in that Capital has yet to acquire a foul here in our first half of play. Crusaders shooting 57% from the field. John Carroll shooting 40% from the field. Leading scorer for Capital right now is Tyler Jamison and Caleb Cox. They each have 4. Meanwhile, for John Carroll, Alan Stokes, he's their leading point getter with 4 as well. Caldwell will now inbound it for the far side. He'll go over his options, and he will finally get it into Will Hanna. 11:20 remain in the first half. Capital 19, John Carroll 15. Blue Streaks looking to win the outright regular season title in the OAC. Capital, meanwhile, looking to keep their hopes alive of moving up in the seeding for the OAC men's basketball tournament as Cox loses it out of bounds. It will still stay with Capital. 5 seconds remain on the shot clock. As we mentioned in the pregame show, Capital can advance as high as 5th place in the standings. If they lose today, however, they could be the 6th seed, the 7th seed, or the 8th seed, anywhere in that range. Hanna, three-pointer, no good, too strong. But Caldwell almost got the offensive board, lost it out of bounds near the John Carroll bench. It's Capital 19, John Carroll 15, 10:59 remain in the first half. Jimmy Berger passing it over to Stokes, now over to Cirillo. Cirillo is running up the floor, and a blocking foul is going to be called against Gavin Wildermuth. Typically, John Cirillo, the 6'5" senior out of Pepper Pike, Ohio, tends to have his better games against Capital. That guy can be an absolute nuisance on the backboard. He can hit the three-pointer, but mostly he makes his living on the inside, driving to the hoop, and getting those garbage points off of those misses from his teammates, particularly when they are jacking up threes. A little pause in the action here as the referees are trying to get something fixed. Looks like it is fixed. And now a foul will be called on the inside against Joey Weingartner. Apparently he held Cirillo on that last play. That'll be the second team foul on Capital this half. They'll get it into Cirillo on the inbound. Three-pointer on the way for Vianchek, and that's no good. Ball batted around, and John Carroll keeps possession. Nice job by Berger walking the tightrope. Floater in the lane. That's no good. And then a foul will be called on the inside, looks like against Weingartner. Weingartner looks like will check out, and Schreck will check in. Frustrating sequence right there for Weingartner, who has been hot and then sometimes really cold for Capital offensively this year. Once again, the inbound will go into Cirillo. 19-15 in favor of the Crusaders. Berger, pass on the inside, tipped around, and then Ryan Berger gets it back for the Blue Streaks. Now it's out to Jimmy. 15 on the shot clock. They go inside of the big man Stokes. Stokes passing it back out. Three-pointer for Vianchek, and he nails it from the left wing. It's now a 1-point lead for Capital, 19-18, 10-13 remaining in the first half. Cox to Wildermuth. Wildermuth, who's been getting a lot of extended minutes here today at point guard. Over to Caldwell. Cam driving in, and he lost it. Stokes trying to save it, and then batted around by Hanna, out of bounds, and they're going to say that Capital will keep possession. Kind of a helter-skelter sequence there for Capital, who has 16 seconds remaining on the shot clock. And now more substitutions here for the Crusaders, as it looks like Gia Hyatt and Tyler Jamison will check in. Cox and Hanna will take a seat for Capital. 9:59 remaining in the first half. Capital 19, John Carroll 18. Schreck will inbound it near the Capital bench into Wildermuth. Wildermuth now trying to move around, as he was trapped between his man and the half court. Now he's on the left wing, is Wildermuth. Over to Caldwell. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Got to get a shot off. And he got fouled with 1 second left by Cirillo. Boy, and look, that had shot clock violation written all over for Capital, but Cirillo was able to bail Capital out with that. And now that's the 15th foul against John Carroll this half. Fresh shot clock for Capital. Inside, Schreck. Reverse layup, no good. Bounced around, and the rebound finally taken by Vianchek. Over to Cirillo on the left wing. 20 on the shot clock for John Carroll. Berger, right wing, dribbling in. Almost has his pocket pick by Gia Hyatt. Three-pointer, Cirillo, no good. And battle for the loose ball. Stokes is able to chase it down for John Carroll. Berger inside, Stokes almost losing it. Now he has his pocket picked. Caldwell up ahead for Capital. Wildermuth for three. No good. Ball batted of the round. Stokes grabs the rebound for John Carroll. 19-18, Capital with a slim 1-point lead. Under 9 to play in the first half. Three-pointer off the mark by Vianchek, and the rebound taken by Wildermuth. Caldwell to Schreck. Schreck over to Caldwell now. 18 on the shot clock for Cam. He'll pass it over to Schreck. Inside, Caldwell scores. Nice give-and-go action that time by Schreck and Caldwell. And now a rolling timeout, and there will be the second unit coming in for Carroll. Shurin coming in, along with Papich, Sartain, also Greg Perella, Sean Flannery. Shurin will inbound it after the rolling timeout. So Flannery will take it up the floor. Flannery, a 5'8" sophomore from Westlake, Ohio. Now over to Shurin. Shurin hails from Brecksville, Ohio. He'll drive in. 5-foot jumper is good. 21-20. Capital with the lead. 8:19 left to play in the first half. Jamison over to Caldwell. Caldwell raises the right pointer finger in the air to signal the play in the half court. Jamison passing off to Schreck. 11 on the shot clock. Inside to Jamison. Jamison looking to back his man down. Out to Gia Hyatt for three. G, no good, and the rebound is taken by Matt Shurin. Boy, the three-pointer is just not there for Capital today. They are 1 of 9 from beyond the arc, as the floater is good for Jackson Sartain, the freshman from Medina. John Carroll now back up by 1, 22-21, 7:39 left to play in the first half. Schreck trying to solve this pressure defense, does so. He'll drive the lane and passes it to Caldwell, who scores. Capital 23, John Carroll 22, 7:24 left to play in the first half. Shurin, John Carroll's leading scorer with 16.9, passing it off. Three-pointer no good by Sartain. Now another floater, that's no good. Ahead to Schreck. Schreck will dunk it at the other end. Capital 25, John Carroll 22, 7:03 remaining in the first half. Three-pointer at the other end, no good for Perella. Giahaya will now over to Schreck. Schreck missing the layup at the other end, and then Giahaya will foul Shurin. Capital 25, John Carroll 22, 6:55 remaining in the first half. Dan Abel and Wildermuth will check back in as Schreck and Caldwell take a seat for Capital. Foul situation update. It is John Carroll 5, Capital 4. Flannery being guarded by Abel. Out to Sartain. Back over to Flannery on the left wing. 17 on the shot clock. Flannery high off the glass, and he gets it to go. Boy, I don't know how he was able to get that shot to go, but Sartain showing courage as he was able to get that teardrop to fall over the outstretched hand of Tyler Jamison, who, let's just say, has a very big wingspan. 17 on the shot clock now for Capital as they're here in the back in the half court. Giahaya with 10 to shoot. G dribbling in, spinning around, and he has his shot blocked as John Carroll comes away with a loose ball. Traveling violation now called as Jackson Sartain was not able to set his feet. Will Hanna will check in for Capital. Taking a seat will be Giahaya. It's Capital 25, John Carroll 24, 6:06 remaining in our first half. And Sam Lash has also checked in for Capital. Lash, a freshman from Centerville. And Abel being guarded by Sartain. Actually, excuse me, Flannery. Ball poked out of bounds, and ball will stay with Capital. It's a matchup of diminutive guards. Flannery stands at 5'8", and Abel not that much taller at 6 foot. And that might be a generous 6 foot at that. Over to Lash. Lash trying to dribble in. He lost it out of bounds, and that's a turnover for Capital. 5:48 left to play in the first half. Capital clinging to a 25-24 lead over John Carroll. Lash over to Sartain. They go inside. It's a double team out of bounds. They're going to give it to John Carroll as it went off the hands of Tyler Jamison. Jamison providing some good quality minutes for Capital, particularly on the defensive end. Flannery inside, and nobody was able to pick up Brian Papich as the Indianola, Pennsylvania native was able to score rather easily on that inbounds, and John Carroll back up by one, 26-25, 5:25 left to play in the first half. Abel trying to solve a double team, needs some help, passing it over to Jamison finally. Inside, Hanna able to lay it up. No, he missed it, but he is back right there to clean up his own mess as Will Hanna. Boy, that would have been a heartbreaker right there as Hanna was not able to come up with anything on that shot, as the three-pointer on the other end for John Carroll was no good. Hanna grabs a rebound. It's Capital 27, John Carroll 26, and Coach Damon Goodwin stuck out his right hand saying, slow the pace down. That's exactly what Capital needs to do. They need to be able to play the Capital pace. That won't help, however. Shurin is able to jam it home at the other end. It is John Carroll 28, Capital 27, 4:39 left to play in the first half. Abel, cross half court, 18 to shoot. Wildermuth on the right wing, over to Hanna. Hanna to Lash. Lash will let loose a three. That's no good. Jamison tip, no good as well. And John Carroll comes away with the rebound. Sartain with the board. Sartain, long J is good. John Carroll 30, Capital 27. Approaching 4 minutes left to go in our first half. Jamison with the inbounds. Now I'll pass it back over to Wildermuth. Wildermuth will bring it across half court. Wildermuth on the left wing. 16 on the shot clock as Capital is taking its time here in the half court. Abel on the right wing. 8 seconds, 7 seconds. Lash skips it over to Wildermuth for three. Gavin knocks it down. And a timeout will now be taken by Capital. 3:34 left to play in the first half. We are tied at 30 between John Carroll and Capital.
When looking for great food at low price, be sure to visit Peking Dynasty on the corner of Livingston and Sheridan, right near the Capital University campus. Peking Dynasty has a large selection of Chinese food and sushi, along with great tasting chicken and beef selections that can please any appetite. In addition, Capital University students receive discounts with a valid ID any day of the week. That's Peking Dynasty on the corner of Livingston and Sheridan, right near the Capital campus, where we are proud to say, Go Cap!
3:34 left to play in the first half. John Carroll and Capital knotted at 30. This game has been very entertaining here on this senior day as John Cirillo passing it back to Jimmy Berger. Berger passing around, that's tipped around. Ryan Berger drives in, missed the layup, out of bounds. It will stay with John Carroll. The trigger man will be Jimmy Berger. Get it into Bionchek. Bionchek thought about a three inside. Stokes, reverse layup, no good. Rebound taken by Caleb Cox. Capital now with a chance to regain the lead here. Schreck on the right wing. Over to Weingartner. And a foul will be called on the inside. Looks like it'll go against Cirillo. That'll be the 16th foul this half on John Carroll. So now Schreck will inbound it from the baseline. 2:59 left to play in the first half. John Carroll and Capital tied at 30. It's been a very entertaining first half. And Capital should, I think they're lucky stars that they're in this game despite the fact that they've shot very poorly from three-point range today. And now an offensive foul will be called on the inside. Caleb Cox, currently a moving screen of some sort, and that gives the ball right back to John Carroll. That'll be the 15th foul on Capital. Cirillo will inbound it to Berger. Back to Cirillo now as Capital will go with a little bit of a pressure defense. All the way over to Berger. Cirillo will be whistled for a traveling violation. He had a full head of steam heading towards the bucket, but Cirillo took one too many steps, and that's another turnover for John Carroll, their 6th of the game. Schreck to Caldwell now. And now Cam will take his time, taking the ball up the floor, dancing it to the left wing. Caldwell passing over to Schreck now. Schreck to Hanna. Hanna gets it inside to Cox. Cox looking to post up. To Caldwell, swing pass, Weingartner for three, no good. Hanna with an offensive board, however, for Capital. Nice job by Will. Caldwell now going over his options, passing over to Schreck, over to Hanna. Will driving in, and Cox misses the layup, gets his own miss back and scores. Capital back up by 2. 2 to play in the first half. Berger at the other end misses the shot. Battle for the loose ball. Cox grabs it for Capital. Schreck at the other end. Schreck lays it up and in. Capital 34, John Carroll 30. Minute 45 remaining in the first half. Berger for 3. That swishes through. It's Capital 34, John Carroll 33. Now let's see here. Shuren will check in for Cirillo. Wildermuth will check in for Capital. Schreck now looking to inbound it and does to Hanna. Schreck now up the floor to Hanna. Hanna over to Wildermuth. Wildermuth to the left wing. Dribbling in, now over to Cam Caldwell. 12 on the shot clock. Hanna inside. Schreck gets his man up. Off the glass and in for Austin Schreck. He's now got 9. Inside, floater, no good. Cox grabs the rebound after the miss by Berger. Caldwell, his layup, missed. Coming away with it is Papich now. Papich looking to push it. Three-pointer for Berger. Berger knocks it down, and we're knotted at 36. 47 seconds and counting. Hand up to Caldwell. Caldwell, bounce pass. It's a turnover. Shuren comes away with it, and then a timeout called by John Carroll. 37.7 seconds remain in our first half as John Carroll looks like we'll have the ball here. Capital and John Carroll tied at 36. Coming up, we will have for your listening pleasure the Rusty Bucket halftime show. Take a look at scores around the OAC here on the final day of the regular season. We got halftime stats and much more. All coming up on the Rusty Bucket halftime show. Jimmy Berger over to Vianchek. Battle for the loose ball. Inside. Blocked by Cox. Oh, they're going to get him for a foul. Jimmy Berger, as though he might have had that shot rejected cleanly, but the referees thought otherwise. That'll be the second foul on Cox, the 16th foul on Capital this half, as the shot clock has been turned off. 27.2 seconds remain in our first half. Shot is up, no good for Papich, the senior from Indianola, Pennsylvania. Tyler Jamison will check in along with Joey Weingartner. Hanna and Cox will check out. One more free throw for Papich. Shot is up and good for Papich. That gives John Carroll a 1-point lead. 27.2 seconds remain in the first half. Capital ahead to Wildermuth, and Wildermuth will just take it across half court. But the shot clock turned off. Capital will now hold for the final shot of the half. Trailing John Carroll, 37-36. Wildermuth out towards half court. Skips on it over to Caldwell. 12 seconds, 11 seconds, 10 seconds. Caldwell looking for a screen from Jamison. Over to Schreck now. Schreck, long jumper, no good, it's short. Caldwell, floater, that will rattle in, and that will end the first half. Capital will head to the locker room, leading by 1, 38-37. Coming up, the Rusty Bucket halftime show will get you caught up with scores around the Ohio Athletic Conference. Take a look at the halftime stats and even name today's halftime hero. That is all ahead on the Rusty Bucket halftime show. Again, Capital leading John Carroll at the break, 38-37.
Ed, what is that bizarre contraption?
It's my latest Jimmy John's online ordering enhancement, sir.
Really?
Yes, sir. You know our popular Jimmy John's online ordering service?
Yes, click, order, eat.
This is the perfect time-saving companion.
How perfect, Ed?
Presenting the Jimmy John's F4000 three-dimensional sandwich printer.
Oh, boy.
See, we put one of these babies in the home of every Jimmy John's customer.
Uh-huh.
They order the sandwich online.
Uh-huh.
And we send a signal to the F4000 to make their sandwich.
Ed, how much does one of these babies cost?
With the quantity discount, $50,000, sir.
And how long does it take to print a sandwich?
About 8 hours, sir.
Do you see where I'm going with this?
So back to the drawing board?
No, stay away from the drawing board, Ed.
New vehicles, reliable pre-owned vehicles, top-notch, high-quality service technicians, and friendly, trustworthy sales associates dedicated to customer service. Byers Airport Subaru in Columbus is ready to get you into the vehicle that you were meant for. Stop by to see our selection at 401 North Hamilton Road in Columbus and take a test drive, or call Byers Airport Subaru at 877-265-9695 today. Byers Airport Subaru is a proud supporter of Crusader Athletics. Subaru, confidence in motion.
Dill's Greenhouse is a local family business dedicated to offering the best shopping experience and honest prices for your gardening needs. If you're in need of annuals, perennials, vegetable plants, or any variety of gardening tools and resources, Dill's Greenhouse is more than happy to get you on the right path. Dill's Greenhouse is located at 5800 Rager Road in Groveport, Ohio, and is open 7 days a week. Visit them online for more information at dillsgreenhouse.net. Dill's Greenhouse. Only nature does it better.
Welcome into the Rusty Bucket halftime show at the half. Very exciting game. Capital, moments ago, taking a 1-point lead thanks to a runner by Cam Caldwell. It is Capital 38, John Carroll 37 at the break. Well, this game is a rather early game, so not a lot of games taking place. Normally, games on Saturdays around the OAC start at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So right now, we're the only game that is currently being played in the OAC. Other games that will be coming up later on today. In about a half hour or so, Mount Union will get underway hosting Otterbein. Also starting at 2 o'clock will be Heidelberg at Muskingum. And then finally a pair of games that will be played at 3 o'clock today. Wilmington at Baldwin-Wallace, Ohio Northern playing host to Marietta. And also, the women's basketball team for Capital will be in action today. They'll be at John Carroll. That game is scheduled for a 3 o'clock tip. That OAC scoreboard update, by the way, brought to you by the Honey Baked Ham Company. We'll take another quick break. When we come back, we will take a look at the halftime stats. Very exciting first half. At the break, it is Capital 38, John Carroll 37.
It's the perfect sports bar because it's not just a sports bar.
I'm Gary Calico, founder and president of Rusty Bucket. A lot of families build their sports world around the bucket.
It's not just a guy's night out. You can bring your wife, you can bring your kids.
We get a lot of groups in after games.
Great place after the game.
Kids love to come here.
The Rusty Bucket Restaurant and Tavern.
The Rusty Bucket is a proud supporter of the Capital Crusaders. Visit us after the game at 2158 East Main Street and grab life by the bucket.
Current or prospective Capital University students, if you've ever had dreams of becoming a big sports marketer, promoter, agent, broadcaster, or just trying to find your way into the sports industry, join the Capital University Society of Sport Management today. CUSSM is looking for highly motivated, energized, and creative people to help promote Capital athletics and build your resume in the process. This student-led and operated organization will help you earn real-world experience in the area of sport. Get connected and join the CUSSM today. Email Emily Ondo at eondo@capital.edu for more information.
This is a message for all those MBA seekers out there. For the junior exec who'd rather be senior. For the VP yearning to be CEO. And for everyone who'd call their job not just a profession, but a passion. Capital University's MBA program was built exclusively for professionals, experienced faculty, flexible schedules, and classmates you'll soon consider colleagues. Learn more at capital.edu/MBA. The Capital University MBA, for those driven to do more.
Welcome back to the Rusty Bucket halftime show. At the half, it is Capital leading John Carroll 38-37 here on Senior Day from Bexley, Ohio. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the halftime stats. These are brought to you by Planks Cafe. Let's start with the overall team stats first from what we have seen in this game so far. Capital on the day shot 45% from the field, or at least in the first half, I should say. John Carroll shot 43%. Three-pointers, well, it was a struggle for Capital from beyond the arc as they went 2 of 12 from downtown, good for 17%. John Carroll, meanwhile, 6 of 16 from beyond the arc, good for 38%. Not a lot of free throws for both teams. Capital shot 2 of 4 from the cherry stripe, good for 50%. John Carroll, 1 of 2, also good for 50%. The rebounding, Capital, 22. John Carroll, 18. So far, Capital's been doing a nice job on the board so far against the Blue Streaks. Other statistics of note, John Carroll, 2 steals, only 1 for Capital. Blocks, John Carroll 4, Capital 1. Assists, Capital 12, John Carroll 5. Turnovers, John Carroll 6, Capital 5. Points off turnovers, John Carroll 7, Capital 6. Second chance points, Capital 6, John Carroll 3. Bench points, John Carroll 19, Capital 11. Points in the paint, Capital 26, John Carroll 12, and finally, fast break points, Capital 4, John Carroll 2. Now on to the individual statistics for both teams. Let's first start with John Carroll. Blue Streak's leading scorer at the half was Ryan Berger. He had 9 points on 3 of 7 shooting from the field. All 3 of his main field goals have come from three-point range. 4 points in that first half for Alan Stokes. 3 points for Antonio Vianchek. 2 points for Jimmy Berger. 2 points for Sean Flannery. 4 points for Matthew Shuren, their leading scorer, averaging 16.9 points per game. Shuren, even though he comes off the bench. Brian Papich and Greg Perella each had 3 points, and Jackson Sartain had 7 points. And now on to the individual statistics for Capital. Let's start first with our halftime hero. And our halftime hero today, that would be Austin Schreck. Schreck with 9 points on the day, 4 of 7 shooting from the field, 0 of 1 from three-point range, and 1 of 2 from the foul line. Austin Schreck, our halftime hero today, had a marvelous first half, setting up teammates, getting some key buckets as well for Capital down the stretch in the latter stages of that first half. Caleb Cox had a nice first half as well. He had 6 points to go along with 5 rebounds, shot 3 of 5 from the floor. 2 points for Brennan Chukran, the senior who was honored before today's game. Good to see him out there and good to see him get on the stat sheet in the first half. Cameron Caldwell had 7 points. So did Will Hanna, who had 7 points to go along with 6 rebounds. 3 points for Joey Weingartner. And finally, 4 points for Tyler Jamison coming off of the bench. When we come back, I'll tell you some keys to the second half between both John Carroll and Capital. Crusaders looking to get a big win here today on Senior Day, looking to take down the top dog standings-wise in the OAC, that being John Carroll. We'll be back with more of the Rusty Bucket Halftime Show in just a moment.
This is a message for the nurses among us, for those who dream of saving lives, for those who are driven to improve care, and for those ready to help heal what's broken, be it a single bone fracture or an entire hospital system. Capital University's advanced nursing programs are built for you. Engaged faculty, immersive learning, and intimate classes where you'll know everyone's name. To learn more, visit capital.edu/nursing. Advanced nursing at Capital University, for those driven to do more.
Just as fresh as its pizza, Donato's is fresh off of its 50th anniversary and still serving the Columbus area with pride. Now introducing online ordering, Donato's Pizza is ready for your order at any time from anywhere. Donato's also features a gluten-free menu and will even cater your next big event. Donato's Pizza in Bexley is located at 2800 East Main Street and is available by phone at 614-235-4477. Donato's Pizza, proud supporter of Capital Crusader Athletics.
Zoe's Cafe in the heart of downtown Bexley, Ohio is a proud supporter of Capital University and Crusader Athletics. Zoe's Cafe is a casual, multi-cuisine restaurant that specializes in breakfast and lunch dishes, but also sports a vibrant outdoor patio and daily happy hour specials. Zoe's Cafe is located at 2376 East Main Street in Bexley, just a few blocks away from Capital's campus, and can be found on Facebook by searching Zoe Cafe Columbus. Zoe's Cafe, proud supporter of Crusader Athletics.
Welcome back to the Rusty Bucket Halftime Show. Capital leading John Carroll 38-37 at the half. Let's go ahead and give you some keys to the second half. Well, first off, I thought Capital came out with some very good energy, matching John Carroll punch for punch for much of that first half before entering the locker room with a 1-point lead at the break. It is going to be crucial for Capital to come out with that same type of energy to begin here. John Carroll is one of those teams that if you let them impose their will offensively, both from the perimeter and inside, they can roll up points on you like nobody's business. So Capital has really got to come out. It's like a boxing match. They have got to be able to land the first big punch, so to speak, of this first half and make John Carroll feel uncomfortable here at the Capital Center. So energy is going to be an important key. Second key is going to be for Capital is to keep that great effort going on the boards. Capital out rebounding John Carroll 22-18. John Carroll is one of those teams that likes to get a lot of second and third chance opportunities on the offensive end. It's going to be crucial for Capital to grab those key rebounds. I look for Caleb Cox and Tyler Jamison to play a big role there in the interior for Capital in the second half. And then finally, we know what Austin Schreck can do offensively. Coming off of a 20-point performance against Wilmington, he's got 9 points at the break. We know that he's going to get his offensively. Who's going to be that second guy that will step up offensively in the second half for Capital? Cameron Caldwell had himself a good first half with 7 points. That's good. Caleb Cox had 6 points. But who is going to be the Robin to Shrek's Batman in the second half? Hopefully someone will emerge. And if that's the case, Capital stands a good chance of possibly knocking off the #1 team in the OAC standings, the Blue Streaks of John Carroll. This has been a presentation of the Rusty Bucket Halftime Show. When we come back, we will have second half action here at the Capital Center. Can Capital get a big win here today on Senior Day, knocking off the first place Blue Streaks of John Carroll? Well, we'll have the second half for you in mere moments. This is your home for Crusaders men's basketball, the Capital Sports Network.
Capital University has partnered with Aramark to form Capital Dining Services. Stop in for a snack or some Crimson Cup coffee at the Capital grounds located inside Sailor Ackerman Hall. The Capital Court is located on the second floor of the Student Union and is open 7 days a week with a variety of meal options. And don't forget about One Main Cafe, located off of the main lobby in the Student Union. Capital Dining Services and all of its locations powered by Aramark are proud supporters of Crusader Athletics. For venue hours and more information, go to capital.campusdish.com.
I wanted to fly. They said I couldn't. So I built a plane, then a spaceship, then I went to the moon. I invented jazz, hip-hop, rock and roll. Some called it noise. I said it was music. I wrote a letter and sent it by ponies. It didn't get to you fast enough, so I used trucks and ships. But still, they weren't fast enough for me. So I lost the paper and the ink. I sent it by magic. I called it email. I made up new words: jukebox, bling, Google. And I decided some old words weren't okay to say ever again. The mustache. I tried to bring that back 17 times. I wore knickerbockers and shoulder pads, poop skirts and flannel. When I came back from World War II, all I had was a t-shirt. So I made that cool. In fact, I invented cool. Who am I? I'm the spirit of youth. It's my job to move the world forward. Pepsi. Every generation refreshes the world.
We are mere seconds away from beginning second half action here at the Capital Center. Coming out of halftime, it is Capital 38, John Carroll 37. We are the only game being played in the OAC at the moment, with the other games around the OAC getting set to start around 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. Heading into play today, John Carroll, the #1 team in the OAC standings. They can clinch the regular season outright with a win today. Even if they lose today and second place Marietta wins, forcing a first place tie, John Carroll would own the tiebreaker, having beaten Marietta not once but twice this year, thereby giving the Blue Streaks the #1 seed. Capital, meanwhile, trying to move up in the standings as we get closer and closer to the OAC men's basketball tournament. Capital can get as high as the #5 seed coming up in the tournament. Cirillo, layup is good. Just like that, John Carroll up by 1, 39-38. Not even 30 seconds in to our second half. Shrek now trying to solve the defense, and the ball apparently was kicked by John Carroll's Ryan Berger. Shrek will inbound it for the far side. He'll get it into Caldwell. Caldwell trying to solve his defender Berger as he'll get it across the timeline safely. Caldwell, top of the arc. Over to Weingartner. Weingartner to Cox, and that got kicked by Cirillo, who almost kicked it right into his face. That would have really hurt. 20 seconds on the shot clock for Capital. It's John Carroll 39, Capital 38. Not even a minute in to our second half. Caldwell to Weingartner. Boy, Joey Weingartner, he has got to get going for Capital offensively here. Had a quiet first half. Caldwell on the inside to Shrek. Shrek, turnaround, Jay is good. Austin Shrek with 11 points. Capital back up by 1, 40-39. Vianchek over to Berger, back to Vianchek, swung around to the other Berger, Jimmy. Now over to Ryan Berger. Ryan, right wing. Over to his brother Jimmy. Jimmy trying to go baseline. Pass inside to Stokes, who lost it. Now into Cirillo. Cirillo twisting, turning, hook shot, good. John Carroll back up by 1, 41-40. 18 and a half to play in the second half. Schreck trying to get it in, but he will not. 5-second call against Capital, and that's the first time that they have cracked under this pressure defense instituted by John Carroll in the full court. So John Carroll with the ball. Vianchek to Cirillo. Back over to Vianchek. Jumper from the left elbow. No good. Rebound taken by Caleb Cox. He'll bounce it over to Weingartner. Cross half court. Weingartner over to Cox. And now a foul is going to be called against Will Hanna. Boy, you know, looking at that play, Hanna was battling tooth and nail with Cirillo. If anything, Cirillo should have been called for a foul on that play. And now Damon Goodwin getting an explanation from one of our officials. I think he's clearly with me. If anything, Cirillo should have been called with a foul. He was just being an absolute pest out there against Hanna. But in the meantime, John Carroll back with the ball. Berger for three. That is no good. Rattles in and out, and Cox with the board. Caldwell on the left wing. Inside to Cox, and Cox lays it up and in. Capital back up by 1, 42-41. Vianchek over to Berger. To the other Berger. Now Vianchek for three. That's no good. And the rebound, they're going to call Weingartner for the foul. Again, another case where I thought Cirillo might have been the culprit. Wildermuth will check in. Weingartner will check out. Jimmy Berger, baseline, inside to Cirillo. Cirillo, jumper, that's no good. Rebound grab by Will Hanna. Capital 42, John Carroll 41, under 17 and a half to play in our second half. Hanna, Schreck for three. That is good for Schreck. Capital up by 4, 45-41, 17-10 remaining in the second half. Cirillo bounces it inside to Bergers, to Cirillo, off the hands of Emil Hess, who has just checked in, the freshman from Burton, Ohio. That's a turnover for John Carroll. And now a fresh set of players come in for the Blue Streaks. Among them, Ryan Papich, Greg Perella, also Sean Flannery, and also Matthew Shurin. Schreck. So now Wildermuth, the junior from Jackson Center, Ohio, will bring it across half court. Wildermuth on the right wing over to Schreck. Schreck thought about a three. He'll drive inside, and Schreck almost got it to go, and there was a lot of contact, but no foul. Shurin driving in, off the glass, and good. John Carroll 45, Capital 45, John Carroll 43, beg your pardon. 16:28 remaining in the second half. Wildermuth, cross half court, to the left wing. Gavin will now bounce it over to Austin, to Will. Will driving in, quick pass, Wildermuth for three. That is good for Gavin on the left wing. Capital 48, John Carroll 43. The three-pointers are starting to wake up here for Capital. That's an air ball for Shurin, out of bounds, and Capital will get the ball. Caleb Cox will now check out as Capital will get a fresh big guy in there, and Tyler Jamison. It's Capital 48, John Carroll 43, 16:05 remaining in the second half. Schreck to Hanna. And Capital once again slowing the tempo down. John Carroll likes to push it. Caldwell to Hanna. Will now pass it over to Caldwell. Caldwell will now slow things up. He'll bring it back out towards half court. 13 on the shot clock. Pass over to Wildermuth, now in the hands of Jamison. Jamison dribbling around. Over to Wildermuth. Wildermuth inside, and Jamison got fouled from behind by Greg Perella, the sophomore from Youngstown. That'll be the first team foul. I guess John Carroll this half. Capital already has two. 48-43 ball game in favor of Capital. 15:41 remaining in the second half. Jamison will bounce it over. Oh, he has his pocket picked. Papich on the other end, and Papich has a shot blocked by Caldwell, but a foul instead will be called against Caldwell. Boy, it looked from here that was a clean block by Caldwell. But in the meantime, Papich will head the foul line. Papich, a senior from Indianola, Pennsylvania. .64% free throw shooter, and that won't help as the front rims, the front end of the two-shot penalty right there. Caldwell will check out. Back in is Dan Oval. One more free throw. That is no good as Papich goes empty. 0 for 2 at the foul line. Oval, left wing. Hanna driving in. Hanna! Count the bucket and a foul. Strong move to the hoop that time by Will Hanna. Capital all of a sudden starting to lengthening this lead a little bit. As Hanna will look to finish off the three-point play. Shot is up and good. Hanna will now check out. Yahaya will check in. Let's see if G can give Capital even more of a boost. Capital 51, John Carroll 43. Sartain over to Flannery. Flannery will pass it over to Shurin. Shurin will dribble on in. Flannery back out into the corner. Flannery dribbling in, and a pass and a shot made by Papich. It is Capital 51, John Carroll 45. Under 15 minutes to play in the second half. Jamison, oh, couldn't handle the pass by Schreck. He thought it was tipped. They're saying that it wasn't tipped. Boy, Damon Goodwin is waving his hands around like a madman right now, and I don't blame him. Shurin, three-pointer, that's no good. Rebound taken by Dan Oble. Capital 51, John Carroll 45, 14:35 left to go in our second half. Schreck, left wing to Jamison, top of the arc. Jamison dribbling around, looking for some help. Finally gets it over to Oble. 11 on the shot clock. Oble looking for a little bit of a clear out. Some space. Pass over to Wildermuth for three. Good! Capital 54, John Carroll 45, 14-10 remaining in the second half. Boy, the three-point barrage for Capital here in the second half has been awe-inspiring. Meanwhile, the three-pointers for John Carroll continue to not drop as Schreck was trying to save it. Shurin dribbles around, passing it over to Flannery. Flannery now over to Papich. Out of the hands of Shurin now. He gets it back. Shurin being guarded by Oble. Back over to Flannery. Spin move. Outside three. Blocked by G. And now battling for the ball. Out of bounds. They give it to John Carroll. Now wait a second. They're saying that the shot clock should not have reset on that play because it didn't hit the bucket. And so now there's going to be a conference between a couple of our referees out there. As it stands right now, 13:37 to play in the second half. It's going to be Capital 54, John Carroll 45. This is the largest lead of the ballgame, by the way, for Capital, as they're up by 9. Dan Oble will be guarding the trigger man, Jimmy Berger. 3 seconds remain on the shot clock after they get that all set. Pete Morin, John Carroll's head coach, getting an explanation from one of our referees. And now Jimmy Berger will inbound it from the far side. He'll get it into his brother. That shot was blocked by Jamison, and that will lead to a shot clock violation. Tremendous job that time by Jamison. As the crowd gives him a big hand here at the Capitol Center. Schreck, baseline. Stolen, and the shot converted by Vianchek. It's now Capital 54, John Carroll 47. Beware of that press defense. Wildermuth looking to dribble out of trouble. Passing it off to Schreck. Schreck down the lane, and he can't get the bucket to go, but he was fouled. So now Schreck, already with 14 points, headed back to the foul line. 13 foul on John Carroll. The foul will be assessed to Emil Hess, freshman forward who we didn't see a whole heck of a lot in the first half. Playing a lot for John Carroll here in the second half. As Schreck misses the first free throw. One more upcoming for the junior from Erlanger, Kentucky. Schreck, a right-handed shooter. Shot is up and good. 15 points for Austin Schreck. Lead is back up to 8 for Capital. 55-47, 13:05 remaining in the second half. Berger, pump fake, layup, no good. Jamison grabs the rebound. Abel looking to run with it. Abel spinning over to Schreck. Schreck to Jamison, and now Capital will slow things up a little bit here. Back over to G, now to Schreck. Schreck to Abel. Abel, top of the arc. Dan, over to Schreck. 9 on the shot clock for Austin. Austin, he'll go baseline. Over to Wildermuth. Wildermuth can't make the shot. And then a foul will be called against Wildermuth as he hits Cirillo, it looked like on the wrist. Coming back in for John Carroll will be Jackson Sartain. Joey Weingartner will check in for Capital as Schreck will get a much-needed breather on the bench. Capital 55, John Carroll 47, 12 and a half to play in regulation. Cirillo down the lane, shot no good, rebound taken by Jamison, and then a foul called against John Carroll. Boy, Jamison has been very strong on the glass today for Capital, so it looks like they're going to get Sartain with the foul. Actually, Ryan Berger, excuse me. That'll be the 14th foul on John Carroll this half. Capital already has 4 fouls as well. G receives the inbounds pass. Cross half court. Over to Abel. Back to Wildermuth, and now Capital will look to run a little clock here, trying to find the best possible shot while whittling down this clock and playing at the Capital pace that Crusaders assistant coach Andy Winters was talking about in the pregame show. Yahaya lost the ball. Got too sloppy with that spin move along the baseline. John Carroll back with the basketball. Berger for 3, and it's good. The Capital lead has now been trimmed to 5, 55-50. 11:43 left to play in the second half. Abel losing the ball. John Carroll somehow able to save it. And then a foul call on a 3-point shot. Oh, what a miserable sequence that was for Capital. So now Ryan Berger, the sophomore from Medina, Ohio, will head to the foul line. Looking to hit 3 foul shots. Not before a timeout, however. 11:35 remaining in the second half. Capital 55, John Carroll 50. This is Crusaders men's basketball on the Capital Sports Network.
With 14 TVs to watch your favorite team or the next big event, Blank's Cafe and Pizzeria in German Village is ready for you and your group today. Plenty of free parking, free Wi-Fi, banquet rooms for private parties, and daily specials. What more reason do you need to visit Plank's Cafe and Pizzeria? Plank's is located at 743 Parsons Avenue and has been serving the Columbus community since 1939. Plank's is on the web at plankscafe.com or available by phone at 614-443-6251. Plank's Cafe and Pizzeria is a proud supporter of Crusader Athletics.
OSU Sports Medicine is a proud supporter of Crusader student athletes by providing sports health services for Capital University Athletics and student health services. Through the work and care of team physicians and athletic trainers, it's the team behind your team. For all fans, if you're looking to improve your physical performance, recover from an injury, or stay active for a lifetime, the experts at Ohio State Sports Medicine are there for you. Visit sportsmedicine.osu.edu or call 366-4332.
.35 left to play in our second half. Capital leading John Carroll 55-50, but John Carroll now has a chance to really cut into this lead. Ryan Berger getting fouled on a three-point attempt, so he'll have 3 foul shots to work with here. The first toss by Berger is good. Update on the fouls. Capital has 5. John Carroll has 4. Second toss by Berger is good. Austin Schreck will now check back in for Capital. Gavin Wildermuth back out for the Crusaders. Berger's shot is up and good. Capital 55, John Carroll 53. 11:35 remaining in the second half. The lead for Capital has now been trimmed to 2. Capital has got to keep its composure here. They have played a great game to this point. Now they just got to keep it going here. They got to keep playing. And almost another turnover, but Schreck is able to grab the loose ball. Schreck with 8 to shoot at the top of the arc. Schreck driving in, shot off the glass, no good. Jamison, putback is good. Capital 57, John Carroll 53. 11 minutes to play in the second half. Cirillo inside, shot will not go. And then a foul called against John Carroll. Looks like it's going to go against Cirillo. Actually, excuse me, Berger. Capital 57, John Carroll 53. 10:54 remaining in the second half. Schreck looking for somebody, anybody. He'll finally toss it up to Jamison, who makes the catch. And a nice pass over to Hannah, who quickly goes up the floor. Caldwell, top of the arc, 20 to shoot for Capital. Weingartner to Hannah. Will almost losing it against Cirillo, but maintains the composure. Tipped away, out of bounds, and Capital will still have possession. 12 seconds to shoot as Flannery and Shurin check back in for the Blue Streaks. Caldwell will inbound it right in front of the Capital bench. Caldwell will finally get it into Weingartner. 10 to shoot for Joey. Joey top of the arc to Hannah for 3. That's way off the mark, and Caldwell lost it out of bounds. They give the ball right back to John Carroll. Coming back here for the Blue Streaks is Jackson Sartain. 10:25 left to play in regulation. Capital 57, John Carroll 53, but this ball game is far from over. Flannery to Shurin. Shurin passing off to Sartain. Now the Vianchek. Vianchek almost losing it to Flannery now. 11 to shoot. Shurin for 3. No good. Rebound taken by Schreck. And now Schreck will calmly take it across half court. Over to Caldwell. 18 to shoot for Joey Weingartner on the right wing. Jamison top of the arc. Over to Schreck. To Weingartner. Weingartner driving in and scoring! Capital 59. John Carroll 53. Flannery inside, and the layup is good. Nice dime piece that time from Flannery to Brian Papich. Capital 59, John Carroll 55. 9:21 remaining in the second half. Schreck to Caldwell. Caldwell passing it ahead to Hannah. He'll drive in. Hannah missing the shot, but Jamison with the rebound. Fresh shot clock for Capital. Caldwell, right wing. To Schreck. To Hannah, top of the arc. Will dribble in, and he got fouled. Shot will not count. That'll be the 16th foul on John Carroll. The question is whether or not that will be a shooting foul. And it looks like it will be, as Hannah is headed to the foul line. The foul will go against Jackson Sartain. Hannah's first shot up and good. He's now got 8 points to go along with 7 rebounds. Does Will Hannah. Cirillo checking back in along with Jimmy Berger. And Caleb Cox is back in there as well. Boy, great minutes, by the way, by Tyler Jamison. 6 points to go along with 6 rebounds. Hannah, shot up and good. He's now got 9. Capital, 61. John Carroll, 55. 8:52 remain in the second half. Shurin dribbling. Batted around by Caldwell, out of bounds. Active hands that time by the freshman from Westerville, Ohio, Cam Caldwell. Sean Flannery to Shurin. Flannery now looking around. Sartain to Shurin, inside to Cirillo. Cirillo back out to Sartain. 4 to shoot. Sartain, long jumper, and he beats the buzzer. Capital 61, John Carroll 57. 8:20 remaining in the second half. Schreck, cross half court. Crosses the timeline, falls down as well. Over to Will Hannah. Schreck on the left wing, 10 to shoot. Caldwell, long shot for Wildermuth, who knocks it down. Capital 63, John Carroll 57. Shurin, three-pointer no good. Cox losing it out of bounds, but they'll say it went off the hands of Sartain. So now Schreck. No, Weingartner will inbound it for Capital. Capital, this game has shot 50% from the field. John Carroll, 40%. Weingartner will inbound it. And as John Carroll will continue to press. Inbounded to Wildermuth. Who's had a good game today. Wildermuth with 11 points. Weingartner on the left wing. Jumper. Joey knocks it down from the left elbow. Capital 65. John Carroll 57. 7:24 remain in the second half. Inside, Cirillo makes the layup. And now a timeout taken by John Carroll. We'll step aside as well. 7:18 remain in the second half. Capital 65, John Carroll 59. This is Crusaders men's basketball on the Capital Sports Network.
New vehicles, reliable pre-owned vehicles, top-notch, high-quality service technicians, and friendly, trustworthy sales associates dedicated to customer service. Byers Airport Subaru in Columbus is ready to get you into the vehicle that you were meant for. Stop by to see our selection at 401 North Hamilton Road in Columbus and take a test drive, or call Byers Airport Subaru at 877-265-9695 today. Byers Airport Subaru is a proud supporter of Crusader Athletics. Subaru, confidence in motion.
$7:18 remaining in the second half. Capital leading John Carroll 65-59. For John Carroll, it's quite simple. If they win today, they win the outright OAC regular season title and therefore clinch the #1 seed in the OAC men's basketball tournament. For Capital, with a win today, they could advance as high as the 5th seed. With a loss, however, they could be seeded anywhere from number 6 to number 8. Weingartner will inbound it from the baseline, and he'll get it into Caldwell successfully. Now it's back to Weingartner. Weingartner double team ahead to Cox, who makes a leaping catch. Now over to Wildermuth. Gavin Wildermuth has been a steadying force off that bench today for Capital, scoring 11 points. Hannah over to Caldwell. Caldwell passing off to Hannah, 7 to shoot. Hannah trying to drive on in. Turn around Jay, short. And Cirillo grabs the board for John Carroll. Bionchek to Berger. Dribbling in, Berger not able to hit the shot. The other Berger now over to Cirillo, who makes it. Capital 65, John Carroll 61. Shrek is getting set to check back in for Capital as we tick under 6.5 to play. Weingartner ahead to Hannah. Hannah on the right wing. Over to Caldwell. Caldwell, right wing. Trying to drive in, but he's cut off. Now inside. Cox, foul by Cirillo. So Caleb Cox will now head to the free throw line. Cox has had a good game to this point. 8 points to go along with 8 rebounds. Checking to see if Cox has any blood on his jersey or anything else. So now Shuren will head to the bench. Looking to get attended to by the John Carroll trainer. Weingartner will check out. Shrek back in. So Cox will now head to the foul line. These are his first free throws of the afternoon. Shot is up and good. Capital lead increased to 5. Can Cox make it a 6-point advantage? Shot is up and no good. It'll stay at 5. 66-61 in favor of Capital. 6:02 remaining in regulation. Berger to Cirillo. And now a shot up and good for Papich. Capital lead down to 3. Hannah has it poked away. Caldwell grabs it. Caldwell lays it up and in at the other end. Capital 68. John Carroll 63. Shrek with the steal. Shrek to the 10. Shrek not able to lay it up and in, but he got fouled. He'll head to the line to shoot 2. Ryan Papich will be whistled for the foul. #18 foul on John Carroll this half. So Capital going forward will be shooting free throws. Shrek steps forward to the free throw line now, already with 15 points. Make it 16 with the main foul shot. Tyler Jamison and Dan Abel check in for Capital. Caleb Cox, meanwhile, he'll check out. Shrek from the foul line, it's up and good. Capital 70, John Carroll 63. Flannery almost losing his balance and committing a traveling violation right there, but keeps it up inside. Papich not able to hit the shot, out of bounds. It will stay with John Carroll. Flannery will be the trigger man along the baseline. 18 to shoot for John Carroll. Cirillo got pushed down, but no call apparently. Over to Cirillo, long J is good. Capital 70, John Carroll 65. 5:10 remaining in regulation. Can Capital string together a few more good possessions here offensively? Wildermuth near the top of the arc. 15 to shoot. Abel to Hannah. Inside, Jamison, 8 to shoot, 7 to shoot. Tyler, hook shot, no good. Rebound taken by John Carroll. Jackson Sartain. Cirillo, over to Flannery. Now over to Berger. Flannery looking to drive. Inside, Cirillo almost losing it. Shot blocked by Jamison. And the loose ball gathered up by Hannah. Ahead to Schreck. Schreck to the tin. Up and not in. But Schreck gets his own miss and scores. (72-65) Capital with the lead. But a three-pointer made by Jackson Sartain. The Capital lead cut to 4. Schreck looking for some help, finally gets it into Hannah. 3:55 remaining in regulation. Wildermuth with a nice leaping catch that time. 18 to shoot. Over to Schreck. Schreck to Hannah. Hannah inside to Jamison. Jamison backing his man down. Jamison is going to be fouled by Cirillo. 19th foul on John Carroll, which means that Jamison will now be stepping forward to the free throw line. 1-and-1 opportunity. Now Jamison hasn't shot the ball from the foul line all that much this year. He's a 52% shooter from the charity stripe. Right-handed shooter. These are big free throws right here. Here's the front end. Shot is up and good. One more upcoming here for Jamison. Shot is up and good. Capital 74, John Carroll 68. Under 3.5 to play in regulation. Vianchek. Over to Shurin. Shurin passing off to Sartain. Flannery. Left wing. Flannery trying to dribble in. Long J. Flannery, no good. Shurin tip in. That's good. Capital lead down to 4, 74-70. 3 minutes left to go. Wildermuth. Double teamed over to Schreck. Passed over to Hannah. Hannah driving in. Shot missed. Shurin with the rebound. Flannery, top of the arc. 20 to shoot for John Carroll. Papich to Shurin for 3. No good. Rebound taken by Jamison. Caldwell cross half court. And now Capital will slow things up. Caldwell sees an opening. Inside. Hannah. Shot blocked by Papich. John Carroll back with the ball. 2:20 remaining in regulation. But John Carroll turns it over. It went off the hands of Parella. Capital gets the ball back. 2:19 left to play in regulation. Capital leading John Carroll 74-70. Boy, this would be a whale of a win for Capital here on Senior Day if they found a way to hang on. Timeout. We'll take one as well. 2:19 left to play in regulation. Capital 74, John Carroll 70.
When looking for great food at low price, be sure to visit Peking Dynasty on the corner of Livingston and Sheridan right near the Capital University campus. Peking Dynasty has a large selection of Chinese food and sushi, along with great tasting chicken and beef selections that can please any appetite. In addition, Capital University students receive discounts with a valid ID any day of the week. That's Peking Dynasty on the corner of Livingston and Sheridan right near the Capital campus, where we are proud to say, Go Cap.
Back here at the Capitol Center in beautiful Bexley, Ohio. 2:19 left to play in regulation. Capital clinging to a 74-70 lead over John Carroll. Let's get you updated with the foul situation. John Carroll's got 9 fouls. Capital has 5. The possession arrow currently favoring Capital. It's Schreck, Jamison, Wildermuth, Hanna, and Caldwell out there on the floor for Capital. Meanwhile, out there for John Carroll, Bianchek, Shurin. Also, Papich, as well as Jimmy Berger. Caldwell with 20 to shoot. He'll go baseline. Reverse layup is good for Caldwell. Capital 76, John Carroll 70. Shurin almost losing it out of bounds, but keeps possession. He'll drive on in. Papich will score off the backboard. Schreck inbounding it to Caldwell. He'll be tipped away by Bianchek after Caldwell was trying to get it back to Schreck following the inbound. Minute 44 remaining in regulation. Capital up by 4. Hanna dribbling through some traffic over to Caldwell. Caldwell passing over to Wildermuth, to Hanna, back to Caldwell. Now Capital can work for a good shot here towards the end of the shot clock. A minute 25 remaining, 9 to shoot. Caldwell, top of the arc, dribbling around inside. Jamison lost it out of bounds. It will stay with Capital, but the Crusaders only have 2 seconds to work with on the shot clock. Caldwell will inbound it from the baseline. He'll be the trigger man. Into Schreck, three-pointer. Schreck nailed it from the corner. Up ahead to Bianchek. Big shot by Schreck. Caldwell with the turnover. He forces the turnover. A minute remaining in regulation. Capital 79. John Carroll 72. And now John Carroll will have to foul. Jimmy Berger commits it for the Blue Streaks. Mercy. What a shot by Schreck. He took that shot with 2 seconds remaining on the shot clock. And he nailed it. Schreck now with 22 points. Caldwell's foul shot, no good. Coming in for John Carroll is Bianchek. One more foul shot for Caldwell. He's got 11. Shot up. Good for Caldwell. He's now got 12. And now a timeout will be taken here by Capital. 55.8 seconds remain in regulation. Capital 80. John Carroll 72. Dan Alba will get set to check back in here for Capital as they will now talk things over. We'll keep things right here at the Cap Center. While we have a moment, let's go ahead and get you updated with some other ball games around the OAC. Only 2 other games currently being played at the moment. How about this? Otterbein, who only has 1 win on the entire season, they are leading Mount Union 25-18 with 9:01 to go in the first half. Still a long way to go in that game, but so far the Cardinals showing some fight up there in Alliance. And finally, Muskingum, they lead Heidelberg 33-32, 5:18 left to play in the first half of that one. Talked about the playoff picture for Capital entering this game. If Muskingum and Wilmington and Capital, if all 3 of those teams win, Muskingum holds the advantage over Wilmington and Muskingum, and they'll hold the edge over Capital based on tiebreakers, thereby giving them the 5th seed. But Capital, with a win and a Mount Union loss, that would escalate them to 5th place. So Capital actually has a reason to root for Otterbein today. All right, back to our game now with Shurin. We'll quickly get it inbounds to Berger. Berger quickly across half court. Berger going inside, and he'll score. And John Carroll will call a timeout quickly, stopping the clock with 50.2 seconds remaining in regulation. It's now Capital 80, John Carroll 74. The leading scorers, the double-digit scorers in this game. Schreck leads the way for Capital with 22, 12 points for Cam Caldwell, Gavin Wildermuth with 11. Meanwhile, for John Carroll, they're led offensively by Ryan Berger, who's got 17. John Cirillo has got 10 points. Ryan Papich has got 11 points. And Jackson Sartain, he's got 12. Schreck, he will inbound it. Looking for an option, gets it in cleanly to Hanna. Hanna ahead to Wildermuth, and Wildermuth will quickly get fouled by Greg Perella. Stopping the clock with 45.8 seconds to go. Of all the surprises today, it has to be Gavin Wildermuth. Wildermuth, 11 points on the day, 4 of 6 from the field, 3 of 4 from three-point range. Shot is up and missed by Wildermuth. Checking back in for John Carroll, Sartain. See if Wildermuth can split the difference here at the foul line. Shot is up and good. Capital 81, John Carroll 74, 44 seconds and counting. Three-pointer for sure, and he knocks it down from the left wing, and timeout will be taken by John Carroll. 39.4 seconds remain. Capital 81, John Carroll 77. Actually, a rolling timeout by John Carroll. We're going to keep playing here. Schreck once again will inbound. He has done such a great job of finding the open man, of allowing Capital to break this pressure defense. Schreck inbounds it to Hanna. Hanna double teamed, and Hanna got fouled. No, a timeout's actually taken by Capital. Hanna was looking to be fouled, but they weren't giving a foul that time. So Coach Goodwin does the smart thing and calls a timeout. 34.5 seconds remain in regulation. It's Capital 81, John Carroll 77. While we have a moment, I want to remind you folks that coming up after today's game, the Byers Airport Subaru postgame show. We'll look at the final stats. Hopefully we'll talk with a victorious head coach, Damon Goodwin. Capital now bringing their team back out on the floor, as is John Carroll. And Coach Goodwin, along with Coach Moran of John Carroll, they're being talked to about the timeout situation. There continues to be a little more discussion out there. Schreck will now inbound it from the far side, or at least he's getting set to. As Pete Moran continues to talk with John Carroll, talk with one of our referees, excuse me. So Schreck will inbound it, far side, near the corner, to the left of us. Tough angle for Schreck, and he gets it in to Caldwell. Caldwell, however, lost it. Actually, no. They're going to give it to Capital. I don't know if that ball went out of bounds or what, but Capital catches a break right there. 31.1 seconds remain in regulation. Capital 81, John Carroll 77. Schreck once again will be the inbounder for Capital. He'll get it into Hanna. Hanna double teamed. Hanna to Schreck. Schreck ahead to Wildermuth. 22 seconds and counting, and now Cam Caldwell will head to the foul line. 21.4 seconds remain. So now Caldwell looking to hit, at least to this point, the most important free throws of his Capital career. Shot is up and good for Cam Caldwell. One more free throw for Caldwell as John Carroll has Ryan Berger and Matthew Shuren check back in. Shot is up and good for Caldwell. Capital 83, John Carroll 77. Berger, now Shuren for three. Missed it. Abel with the rebound. And the foul to Jackson Sertan. The crowd can feel it here at the Capitol Center. In what has been an up and down year for Capital, the Crusaders have a chance to end the 2017-2018 regular season on a high note and perhaps give them some momentum heading into the OAC men's basketball tournament next week. Abel's first toss is good. The lead is now up to 7. 14.8 seconds remain in regulation. Let's see if Dan can hit one more of those. Shot is up and good. 85-77. Capital with the lead. 10 seconds. Long three for Berger. He knocks it down. 7.6 seconds remain. A 5-point lead for Capital. Schreck will inbound it to Hanna. Hanna ahead to Caldwell. Caldwell will dribble out the clock. And how about this? On senior day, Capital scores an upset over the first place John Carroll Blue Streaks. At the end, it is Capital defeating John Carroll 85-80. A hard-fought win for head coach Damon Goodwin and his team. Some great performances for Capital today from Austin Schreck, who netted 22. How about Gavin Wildermuth coming off the bench with 12 points? How about Cam Caldwell, the freshman point guard, coming of age with 14 points and 6 assists? A lot of good to go around for Capital here today as they get an 85-80 victory over John Carroll here on Senior Day. Coming up, the Byers Airport Subaru postgame show right around the corner. Again, Capital defeats John Carroll 85-80. This has been a presentation of Crusaders men's basketball here on the Capital Sports Network.
Jimmy John's, world's greatest gourmet sandwiches. Ed speaking.
Yes, I need a sandwich delivery right away.
What kind of sandwich?
I don't care. Just get it to 215 Elm Street right now.
I'm on my way.
Jimmy John's. Thanks for getting here so fast.
You're welcome, sir. Here's your sandwich. By the way, did you know your house is on fire?
That's why I called Jimmy John's.
Fire makes you hungry?
No, I knew you'd get here fast. Grab a bucket.
We're gonna need more than 2 guys, sir.
You're right. What'll we do?
Leave it to me, sir. Hello, boss. Send everyone you got to 215 Elm. Doesn't matter what kind of sandwich, sir. I'll explain later. Thank you, sir.
Jimmy John's. Come in.
Sir, did you know your house is on fire?
Yes, I did. Grab a bucket.
Jimmy John's.
Come in.
Sir, did you know your house is on fire?
Grab a bucket.
Jimmy John's.
Come in.
Sir, did you know...
Yes, I did. Grab a bucket.
Jimmy John's.
Come in.
Sir, did you...
Yes, I did. Grab a bucket.
Fire department.
Come in.
Sir, did you know you...
It's okay, Captain. We got it handled. Care for a sandwich?
Thanks, but tell me something.
Shoot.
Why didn't you call the fire department first?
I did.
New vehicles, reliable pre-owned vehicles, top-notch, high-quality service technicians, and friendly, trustworthy sales associates dedicated to customer service. Byers Airport Subaru in Columbus is ready to get you into the vehicle that you were meant for. Stop by to see our selection at 401 North Hamilton Road in Columbus and take a test drive, or call Byers Airport Subaru at 877-265-9695 today. Byers Airport Subaru is a proud supporter of Crusader Athletics. Subaru, confidence in motion.
With 14 TVs to watch your favorite team or the next big event, Blank's Cafe and Pizzeria in German Village is ready for you and your group today. Plenty of free parking, free Wi-Fi, banquet rooms for private parties and daily specials. What more reason do you need to visit Blank's Cafe and Pizzeria? Blank's is located at 743 Parsons Avenue and has been serving the Columbus community since 1939. Planks is on the web at plankscafe.com or available by phone at 614-443-6251. Planks Cafe and Pizzeria is a proud supporter of Crusader Athletics.
Just as fresh as its pizza, Donato's is fresh off of its 50th anniversary and still serving the Columbus area with pride. Now introducing online ordering, Donato's Pizza is ready for your order at any time from anywhere. Donato's also features a gluten-free menu and will even cater your next big event. Donato's Pizza in Bexley is located at 2800 East Main Street and is available by phone at 614-235-4477. Donato's Pizza, proud supporter of Capital Crusader Athletics.
Welcome in to the Byers Airport Subaru postgame show. What a happy result to report from Bexley, Ohio today as the Crusaders end up taking down first place John Carroll 85-80 here on Senior Day. What a ball game it was as Capital went into the halftime leading by 1. They end up outscoring John Carroll 47-43. And right off the bat, we get to be joined by the victorious head coach for the Crusaders, that being Damon Goodwin. Coach, I got to tell you, that was a hard-fought victory by your squad. Let's start with Austin Schreck. Once again, he led the way for you offensively with 22 points and 6 rebounds. What do you think of his day today?
Austin's been very, very good for us here recently. I think he's turned himself to an all-conference player, and I can't say enough about his play and his approach. I thought the key for us today was really Gavin Littermoose when he came off the bench. Made some tough shots, did a great job defensively, and when you have a guy come off the bench and give you that kind of game, that's a huge thing.
How about Cam Caldwell as well, Coach? 14 points, 6 rebounds. He has come mighty far as a freshman this year.
He has. He's grown a lot. He's going to be tough to handle in this league in the future, and we're happy with his progress and growth. And, anytime you get a point guard that can get 14 points and 6 assists and 0 turnovers, that's a pretty good day.
I want to talk about your bigs for just a second. I thought you did a masterful job of cycling Caleb Cox and Tyler Jamison out of the game. Cox with 9 points and 8 rebounds. How about Tyler Jamison, 8 points and 7 rebounds? Those two guys, they really controlled the glass. They helped you win this game today.
They did, and Tyler, TJ actually did a very good job of deflecting and blocking and changing shots inside, and that's why he played at the end. We just felt we needed that shot blocker in there, and he did a great job of doing that.
We talked about Schreck being able to score the basketball. I thought he did a great job of being able to break that press that John Carroll was able to institute today. Tell me about what the strategy was going in, breaking that press, and the fact that your team didn't really turn the ball over all that much today.
13 times against a team like that's very good, and I just thought we were, for the most part, we had a couple stretches there where I thought we got a little lackadaisical with the ball, but for the most part I thought we were strong with it. I think the important thing for us is to play our pace, and we played our pace today. We scored 85 points, which is a lot of points, but they're used to scoring 100, so we kept them at 80, and that's a big factor.
And finally, Coach, today was Senior Day. We got to see Brennan Schufran get out there and score a bucket as well. I mean, can you ask for anything more? Getting a win over a first-place team on Senior Day, your senior scores up. Seemed like a perfect day here in Bexley.
Yeah, I mean, Brennan's been a great kid in our program, and his playing time hasn't been a bunch, but he's a tremendous kid. He's already got a great job. He's almost a 4-point student. He's done everything we've asked him. I couldn't be more proud of him.
All right, Coach, thank you so much. Head Coach Damon Goodwin joining us here on the Byers Airport Subaru post-game show. Capital victorious in their regular season finale, defeating John Carroll today by a final of 85-80. Let's go ahead and get you the final stats of today's game. These are brought to you by the On the Border Mexican Grill and Cantina. Let's start with the team statistics of today's game. Capital shot 50% from the field. John Carroll 45% from the field. Capital shot 6 of 17 from beyond the arc, good for 35%. John Carroll, meanwhile, 10 of 30 from beyond the arc, good for 33%. Free throws, Capital took advantage of them today. They shot 17 of 23 from the foul line, good for 74%. John Carroll, meanwhile, 4 of 7 from the foul line, good for 57%. The all-important rebounding category, Capital out-rebounding John Carroll today, 39 32-31 on the day. You can thank Caleb Cox and Tyler Jamison in large part for that big advantage on the boards. Other statistics of note: John Carroll, 7 steals, Capital 3. Blocks, John Carroll 5, Capital 3. Assists, Capital 17, John Carroll 13. Turnovers, Capital 13, John Carroll 11. Points off turnovers, John Carroll 15, Capital 11. Second chance points, Capital 12, John Carroll 9. Bench points, John Carroll 39, Capital 31. Points in the paint, Capital 40, John Carroll 32. And finally, fast break points, Capital 4, John Carroll 2. Now the individual statistics from today's game. For John Carroll, their leading scorer was Ryan Berger, 20 points on 6 of 13 shooting from the field, 5 of 8 shooting from three-point range, 3 of 3 from the foul line. John Cirillo had 10 points. Alan Stokes had 4 points. Antonio Bianchek had 3 points. Jimmy Berger had 4. Sean Flannery had 2. 11 points each for Matthew Shuren and Brian Papich. 12 points for Jackson Sartain. And finally, Greg Perella with 3 points. Now on to Capital. Let's start with our player of the game, brought to you by Donato's Pizza. Who else? Austin Schreck, 22 points for the junior from Erlanger, Kentucky. 8 of 14 shooting from the field, 2 of 3 from three-point range, including a clutch three-pointer during the last minute of the game, in which he hit it with less than 2 seconds to go on the shot clock. And he also went 4 or 6 from the foul line. He also had 6 rebounds to go along with 3 assists. What a game for Austin Schreck today. Caleb Cox had 9 points to go along with 8 rebounds. 2 points for Brennan Chukram, the senior who was honored before today's game here on Senior Day. Cameron Caldwell, 14 points. Joey Weingartner, 7 points. Gavin Wildermuth with 12 points. Will Hanna with 9. Dan Abel with 2 points. And finally, Tyler Jamison. Very good performance for TJ today, coming off the bench. He had 8 points to go along with 7 rebounds. Let's get you a check of scores now around the Ohio Athletic Conference. We first start at Mount Union. And a major upset could be brewing up there in Alliance. Otterbein leading Mount Union 29-25 at the half of that game. Also at the half, Muskingum leading Heidelberg 45-43. Coming up in about 15 minutes or so, Baldwin Wallace will play host to Wilmington. Marietta, they'll be on the road at Ohio Northern. That OAC scoreboard update is brought to you by the Honey Baked Ham Company. Finally, I want to get you updated with what's happening with the women's team. They're actually going to be playing in about 15 minutes or so at John Carroll. Their game is slated for a 3 o'clock tip up there at John Carroll, and hopefully Dixie Jeffers and her squad can get a win in their regular season finale and give themselves some much-needed momentum heading into the OAC Women's Basketball Tournament. So before we go, let's go ahead and run through the scenario that we talked about at the very beginning of the broadcast. Capital currently tied with Wilmington and Muskingum for the 6th seed in the upcoming OAC Tournament. Again, a scoreboard update involving both of those teams. Let's see here. Well, Wilmington has just started with, or is going to start with Baldwin Wallace in a few minutes, so they haven't played as of yet. Muskingum, they are playing at Heidelberg and leading by 2 at the break. So a win for Capital, that would keep them in the running at the very least for the 6th seed. If Muskingum, Capital, and Wilmington all win, Capital would most likely have to settle for the 6th seed. A win today and a Mount Union loss, however, that could escalate Capital to the 5th seed. So I know that Crusaders, they don't often root for the Cardinals, obviously, with Otterbein being the big rival and all, but maybe today they can set aside that hatred and root for Otterbein to possibly get a big win up there in Alliance at Mount Union. A big win, nonetheless, though, for Capital, as they defeat John Carroll by a final of 85-80. And boy, what a way to end our broadcast season covering both men's and women's basketball for you here at Capital. We hope that you have enjoyed our broadcast throughout the season. And boy, just what a way for Damon Goodwin's crew to close out the regular season. And hey, who knows? Maybe this will give them momentum in the OAC men's basketball tournament and perhaps propel them to a run within the OAC men's basketball tournament. Again, hope that you have enjoyed our presentation of both men's and women's basketball here on the Capital Sports Network. This is Charlie Danis saying one final time, the final score today, Capital defeats John Carroll here on Senior Day by a final of 85-80. So long and good night from Bexley, Ohio.